So I don't have anything against GLP-1s or anything, but just remember it's a tool. It is not the answer to your problems.
Good morning, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name's Lisa. I'm an online women's fitness coach who likes to do workouts mic'd up so we can chat, chill, and talk about kind of any and everything. Today, it is Monday. It is not Monday when you're seeing this, but it is Monday, and a very gloomy Monday here in Vegas. The last few days have been like rainy and cloudy, and I do think that really affects my mood. So I'm not feeling like super amped up today for this workout, but we're still gonna make it happen. Before we go inside, let's talk about motivation really quick, because that's one of the biggest questions I always get is, Lisa, how do you stay more motivated, or how can I be more motivated? The truth is, motivation comes and goes. Like, it is not there all the time, even majority of the time. At some point, discipline comes in. And that's what makes you go to the gym on the days that you don't want to go. That's what makes you make the healthy choice, even when you don't really want to. If you don't know who Layla Hermosi is, I highly suggest you check her out. Her and her husband, Alex, are incredible. But her saying is, fuck your mood, follow the plan. And sometimes that's exactly what you have to do. I'm someone where my emotions affect me deeply. I'm a huge empath, and my emotions dictate my motivation a lot of times. So you have to work past that, and you have to get to the point where even if I don't feel like doing the shit, even if I don't want to do the shit, I have to do the shit in order to get the outcome that I want. I really think it's important to understand the difference between motivation and discipline. And yeah, it takes time to build the discipline, but if you start to lay the bricks, lay the foundation day by day, it becomes a lot easier. So we're gonna head inside, we're gonna hit this workout, and we'll talk more about motivation once we get in there.
Okay, so we are hitting chest. It is a bit busy in here, and every other person is hitting chest, but we're gonna do it anyways. I'm trying to do better at talking into the mic. But on chest days, I like to start with some sort of rear delt movement. If you have a previous shoulder injury, it is a really good idea to start with like a row or a rear delt movement just to kind of warm up the area versus just jumping into like shoulders and chest and stuff. So we're just going to start with some face pulls, nice and light, focusing on that squeeze. All right, so we're still getting warmed up. Very light laterals. My body's like super sensitive to, like, particularly my shoulders, to like what I'm wearing. So sometimes if like a sports bra is too tight, my shoulder starts to hurt, which is why I literally wear larges in all sports bras, because I have a really wide rib cage. But then if the straps are just too tight, it hurts. And like this one's already pulling. And it's so annoying. I had to get rid of like a ton of sports bras because every time I wore them, I would get shoulder pain. And I guess I didn't realize this one does it too. One thing about lateral raises, especially when you're warming up, you need to control the weight and go light. I'm only using 7.5. Normally I use 5s. Like, it's okay to start really low. Our shoulders are naturally very weak because we don't use them a ton. So if you can't lateral raise like 10 pounds, it's not a big deal. And none of this garbage that I see people doing all the time. That's all momentum. Controlled. All right, next we're doing dumbbell incline chest press. I don't really bench a ton, but I do a lot of stuff with dumbbells. Benching just wrecks my shoulder, and I've been dealing with shoulder injuries since high school. I was a volleyball player, and it's finally, this past year, I've been doing a ton of work on it, and it's finally feeling better. So there's just certain exercises I don't need to do nor want to do. So we're gonna start with dumbbell incline press. Now, anytime you're incline pressing by yourself or just in general, this is how you get dumbbells up. Make sure you do this whether you're doing this with 5 pounds, 50 pounds. It's good to get into the habit of it. So you start with your dumbbells on your knees, pop, pop, up, shoulders down and back. You're like digging your shoulder blades into the bench as you press up. And when you're coming down, don't let your elbows go past 90. Here, up. There's no added benefit going below 90. You're just more likely to injure yourself. All right, we're going up to 35s. Our next set. One thing that's really annoying, but you got to do what you got to do, is like there's certain benches that incline here at my gym that I can't use. Like I'm just too little and I'm like on my tippy toes and I can't get the weight up. So this is like the only one that I can use if I want to go heavy on incline chest press. So you might notice that like certain equipment is just doesn't feel the same, doesn't work the same. But all right, 35s. Remember, hop. You have to engage your core while you're doing these. It will help you keep the dumbbells more stable. And feet flat on the floor. Drive through your feet as you press up. All right, slightly different process when the dumbbell is very heavy. So I'll show you guys in a second. This last week was super rough though. Like energy down, motivation down. Yesterday I got sick, threw up. Great time. So I ended up getting pho for dinner last night. And whenever I throw up, I get like super red and blotchy. And then whenever I have a ton of sodium, I get super puffy. So this morning, I'm just like a red puff ball. And then I also colored my hair last night. So I have like a black hairline, which is why I'm wearing a hat. So I'm just not feeling cute this morning. That's okay. We're still gonna get our workout in. Okay, so for heavier dumbbells, I'm gonna start standing and pop them up because I can't just do it from here. So you can see I use the momentum from falling backwards to pop the dumbbell up. There's a lot of people filming here this morning, but I guess it's Monday morning, so everyone's, back to work. But this last week was kind of rough. So I'm really working on not letting my mood and my feelings affect my motivation and just getting shit done. So for me, the gym is no longer something I need motivation to go do, right? But there's other areas in my life that aren't as disciplined. And as someone who's an extreme empath, my mood is heavily influenced by those around me, society, all of that thing. And the last few months have been very, very heavy, right? So it has affected me a lot. And so I'm really trying to push through that. So that is something I'm very much intentionally trying to focus on this week in the areas that I'm struggling. All right, the machine with the most adjustments you've ever seen in your life. We had this machine back in South Carolina, and it's one of my favorites, but it takes like a half an hour to set it up. And I haven't used it since they got it in this gym. So, all right, well, that only took a minute, so that's pretty cool. So this machine, you can do chest, shoulders, everything that you could ever dream of, but we're gonna do incline chest press with it. Also, if you didn't, I didn't say it already, but ladies, make sure you hit chest. You need to. It helps you with a balanced physique. You don't want weak chest muscles, shoulder muscles, all that good stuff. It's not gonna make you bulky. Just do it. Also, this machine makes me feel super weak because you can't use a ton of weight. I can't use a ton of weight on it yet. So you're gonna unhook it, down, press it up. Actually, I think we need to scoot back one. That was a terrible angle, by the way. It was like a straight up coochie shot. So we're gonna readjust it. I'm really looking forward to Thursday. I have a package from Petula coming. I'm like on the hunt for finding new leggings to kind of replace the ones. So these ones I've had easily 5 years. I have probably 10 pairs of these. They're from a brand called Ilus or Ilus, ILUS. I don't know how to say it. But they're starting to get a little worn out, and I'm very, very particular. So Petula had a massive sale. I ordered a few things. I've got a friend who's one of their like influencers, I guess you'd say. So asked her for some recommendations. Right now I'm like in between sizes. I know Petula people always say size up. So I got mediums in all the leggings. But I'm worried they're gonna be too big. We'll just see how it goes. I can show you guys if you'd like. But I haven't ordered new gym clothes in a while. This machine just like really gets that good stretch. Okay, so now we're gonna adjust this machine and we are gonna do single arm shoulder press. Let's see if I can remember how to adjust it to make that happen. Okay, that moves the seat. Here we go. So right behind it, we can change the angle. There we go. Obviously that's too close. So we're gonna push the seat back like so. And we're gonna take one plate off because that's not gonna work. Okie dokie. So we're gonna do shoulder press. It still feels too far forward. I'm all the way back though. So this also adjusts. Oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna push those in. We're gonna do one at a time. Oh, 10 is a lot. Oh, no, that. So remember when I said at the beginning, you don't have to do a ton of weight on your shoulders. This is 10 pounds and this is hard. Just like, how do you not feel motivated when like that's on the wall and you're, oh, and there's DLB. She's the one that actually got me really into wanting to get strong. You know, back in like 2013 when bodybuilding and everything just started really emerging on social media, I saw her and I was like, goals right there. And that kind of ignited the whole process for me. All right. But how I said I haven't bought gym clothes in a while. I'm very picky. Like, I've loved dark sport for a long time now. My friend Katie's husband, Tony, is on the team. So if you order from them, use the code Tony10 to get a discount. But their shirts are like really good quality, 100% cotton, perfect oversized fit. And like the last half a year or so, they've come out with the cropped oversized. I'm only 5'1", so all of the oversized t-shirts like go to my knees and I look ridiculous, but the cropped ones are literally the perfect length. So I have a bad obsession and probably have like 10 or so shirts. This one I actually cut myself. This was an oversized one that I had, and I just took one of the cropped ones and like laid this on top of it and cut it to be the same length. But I'm really picky, and I'm not really a matching set kind of gal. It's not my deal. I just love an oversized tee, leggings, shorts, NMDs, Vans. I'm not a, like, everyone wears the New Balance and all that stuff, but I'm oversized 5 women's shoes, so there's like a lot of brands that don't go small enough. And also, I'm just not one to follow the trends. So, all right, we're gonna do one more set here. We're gonna do some sort of fly, depending on what's open, and then we'll pretty much be done. All right, so this is gonna be our last exercise. I'm not the biggest fan of this fly machine. I feel like I'm a little too small for it, but the other ones are taken. I don't feel like doing cable fly, so we'll just do it this way. Okay, so they got this little foot thing to help you lift the weights. Granted, I'm not lifting very heavy. Here, bring it in. To be honest, that's not feeling very good on the shoulder. So I think we might move on to something else actually, because I don't like the way that's feeling. We will do. So one thing with the Pec Fly you need to remember is this is not a shoulder movement. This is a chest movement. So you're not pushing forward with your shoulder. You're squeezing and then squeezing the center of your chest. The other thing is you do not need to let it go all the way back here. You're going to tear your shoulder to shreds doing that. You stop when you feel a stretch and then you bring it back in. Like so. Open, feel a stretch, together. Open, dig your shoulder blades into the seat. Together, squeeze the center of your chest together. Speaking of gym clothes though, I need Dark Sport to drop another hat like this. As you can tell, I wear the shit out of this one. And a lot of their stuff, like, it's like just too over the top. I don't like over the top. I mean, other than my shirt, but I don't want a bunch of shit on my hat. I just want it simple because I wear it with a lot of things. So if you could drop another hat like this, please, and thank you, in multiple colors, black, white, nude, gray, I will buy them all. Even though your hats are like $35, I will buy them all. And your shipping's still like $15. There's no free shipping. I'm talking a lot of shit for someone that still buys a lot of stuff from them, but I used to not be a hat girl at all. But I don't know, the last couple of years, they're great when you're having a greasy hair day, when I color my hair and I have a hairline, when I want to look put together, but I don't actually feel like doing my hair, when I don't want anyone to talk to me in the gym. The other thing I'll see people do on flies is like, they'll like lean forward. No. Back is glued to the bench. Again, we're working chest, not anything else. I have one client, her goal basically is to be a muscle mommy. She's almost at her weight loss goal, which is exciting. She's down 30 pounds. We got a couple more pounds to go. But she messaged me and she was like, for the first time, I can flex my chest. And she was so excited. And it's super cool. If you're not crazy into lifting, I know that sounds weird, but like seeing muscle development and seeing things that weren't there before is like super exciting and motivating. So I think it's really cool when women have that like line, because it's obvious that they lift weights. You don't get that little pec line if you don't. But I was so excited for her. She's looking incredible. I'll put a little picture of her up here. We've been working together almost a year, down 30 pounds. And for some people, that sounds like that's not a lot of weight. But my coaching style is not, let's lose a shit ton of weight super fast and lose a bunch of muscle mass. Not at all, because in the long run, you're not going to be happy. You need to build muscle as you're losing weight, which means the scale isn't going to go down as quickly as you want, but it's going to make you look toned, defined, all those things that women typically want. She's been lifting 5 days a week in the mornings before work at like 5:30 for like 45 minutes. And only 2 weeks ago, we started incorporating cardio because her brother's wedding is this month and she wants to hit her goal before then. So we are doing 2 cardio days a week with abs and then 3 lifting days a week. And, you know, she's developed the muscle that we need. Now it's about losing the body fat to see what's underneath. And again, you just saw the picture, like she looks phenomenal. I'm super excited and proud of her. And I can't wait till we reach that goal. And then once we hit that goal, we're going to reverse diet, bring her calories back up to maintenance, and then she can feel good, look the way she wants to look, still lift heavy, keep putting on muscle mass, all that good stuff. So it's a process. You have to trust the process. When I see women, there's this unrealistic expectation that you're going to lose 30 pounds and look like a fitness model, and that's not accurate. You need muscle mass in order to look that way. You don't get to skip that part. If you lose a bunch of weight without muscle mass, you're just going to look like a smaller version of the body shape you already have. And if you lose it too quickly, you're going to look like a melted candle. Which is why when people get bariatric surgery or they're on Ozempic and they lose weight too quickly and they're not strength training, that's why they kind of look droopy and gray and sad, because they lose a lot of muscle mass. So I have a different client who's 30 pounds down as well, and she is on Wegovy, like a very small dosage. And we've been strength training for 5 days a week, hitting our protein goal, and she actually goes and gets DEXA scans. So DEXA scans is like this thing you lay in, it takes a photo of you, or like does a scan, and it tells you muscle mass, water weight, lean muscle mass. It's the most accurate thing besides a bod pod that you can use to get like your body fat percentage and muscle density and all those things. She's lost 30 pounds since September, so 8-ish months, and 30 pounds of it has been body fat, which is incredible. She's put on, I think, 1.5 pounds of muscle and lost 30 pounds of fat, which is amazing, to be honest with you. Like, that is dream scenario. So I don't have anything against GLP-1s or anything, but just remember it's a tool. It is not the answer to your problems. It is a tool to help you get there. But if you don't lift weights, if you don't focus on protein intake, you're probably not going to look the way you want to. And there's a good chance you can get malnourished because you can't get in the things that you need. So again, if you've noticed people that lose weight very quickly or on GLP-1s, get bariatric surgery, they tend to look gray and kind of just droopy. And that's because they're malnourished, they're losing muscle mass, etc., etc. I won't keep going on about that, but just remember, it's not about losing weight as quickly as possible. If you want to look toned, fit, in shape, you have to build muscle, which takes time. It takes years. Why do you think the like men competing at the Olympia are like in their mid to late 30s? Because it takes a lot of time to develop muscle. So just keep that in mind. But I will let you guys go. Thanks so much for hanging out. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.